Hello, welcome back to the 115th installment of Album Reviews by Out on That Line podcast. My name is Jeff with my co-host Alex. As always, Alex, how you doing this week?
How could I possibly be having a bad day when I'm wearing the Mustard Tiger t-shirt? I
Give
almost
me a bam.
destroyed my camping chair. Peanut butter and jam. Green eggs and ham. What the fuck are you doing, Phil?
Got my burgers and I got my boys. That's all I got.
Fuck them.
Oh, fantastic. I remember when you got that shirt. I'm so glad that you still have that.
I still have it, and the thing is, a lost piece of the lore. I got two by accident, and I gave one to Rory, and there exists a picture of us somewhere where we're both glasses and Mustard Tiger t-shirts. And if I can dig it up, I'll slap it up on the old community tab on the YouTube.
Oh, you have to. Now that's a job.
It's
And
classic.
I hope people in the comments are gonna hold you accountable until you produce that.
I wish someone would. As Casey Musgraves would say, I'm classic in the wrong ways.
Oh, well, we do have an album to talk about this week, and it's gonna be the Lemon Twigs Everything Harmony. But before we get to that, I wanted to get your opinion on something, and maybe I'm experiencing a little Schadenfreude right now, but I don't know if you've heard about the Taylor Swift and Maddie Healy dating rumors.
No, I'm not caught up on any of this bullshit. So you're going to have to give me a crash course.
Well, I don't know a whole lot of information, but I'm experiencing a healthy amount of Schadenfreude because I know Maddie Healy is a piece of garbage. They both make terrible music, and Maddie Healy has said some like very problematic things, like somewhat recently. And it's wonderful seeing the online meltdown of all the Swifties. You got the half defending her, and then the other half that are like, "Are we serious? We're gonna stand behind her with this guy?" And it's just wonderful to see. It really truly is, Alex.
Well, there's actually a triad of assholes in this situation, if you think about it. Did you see what Noel Gallagher said about Maddie Healy?
No, but please, I bet it's the funniest thing I'll hear today.
Noted asshole Noel Gallagher. I don't have the exact quotation in front of me, but he just shredded Maddie Healy because Maddie Healy, I think, threw some shade at Oasis. Let's go to the tape. Let's get in here. All right.
Yeah, we
Noel,
quote accurately here on Out
right.
on That Line.
Yes, we do love a little bit of slander and libel, but not today. Not with Noel Gallagher.
No, this is all alleged.
Oh, okay. Hot. Entertainment.ie. Let's see. A few months back, comments made by the 1975's Matty Healy went viral after he publicly urged Liam and Noel to make up and reform Oasis, saying, "Can you imagine being in potentially, right now, still, the coolest band in the world and not doing it because you're in a mard with your brother?" What the fuck does that mean? They need to grow up. They're men of the people, and they're sat around in like Little Venice and Highgate crying over an argument with their brother. Grow up. Headline Glastonbury. Have a good time. Have a laugh. This dude's a dick. He added, "There's not one kid, not one person going to a High Flying Birds gig or a Liam Gallagher gig that would not rather be at an Oasis gig. Do me a favor, get back together, stop messing around. That's my public service announcement for the day." So that's Maddie Healy's end of this.
I'm going to bet you that the Gallagher brothers took that very well.
I'm scared because this is going to be like Nas Ether. They're just going to. At the time, only Liam responded publicly saying, "It's our time to waste." Should I be doing accents for this?
Yes, I think you have to.
I don't remember what all of them sound like, but that's okay. "It's our time to waste. Who made him the boss of time?" And now Noel has made his feelings clear on Healy and his band. In a new interview with Spin, he was asked about Healy's tirade and said, "Oh, that fucking slack-jawed fuckwit. What did he say? He'd rather be able to imagine it. He needs to go over how shit his band is and split up." He added, "If Oasis hadn't fulfilled its potential, I might have a different attitude towards it. But as Oasis did everything it set out to do and more, I don't see the point. It was a moment in time, and if you missed it, tough shit." I don't think they're Cockney. That's okay. "I missed the Sex Pistols, and I've managed to get over that. So people should get the fuck over it." I
That
love that. I love that Maddie Healy's thing was, "You guys should get back together, fuck you." And Noel Gallagher said, "You guys should disband, fuck you." Oh, dude, that was amazing.
That was exactly what I hoped for from the esteemed Noel Gallagher. I mean, I will say the Gallagher brothers are all time shit talkers. Like they're very, very good at it. They've been doing it to each other for decades. And that's a big reason why they broke up. I mean, they literally, I forget which one was on stage and which one was in the crowd, but like one of the most famous stories about them is that one of them, they had a fight on stage and then one of them left, came back and sat in like the back row and was just heckling them the whole time from the crowd. I mean, who does that? You never hear about anybody but brothers doing that to each other. Oasis is fantastic. I understand what he's saying. I do wish they'd get back together. It's like just kind of agree. I'm not saying I agree with anything else that Matty Healy says, but I do agree with him on that. That it would be cool to see Oasis play together again, even if they don't do new music. Just seeing them play those songs again live in like a big festival environment would be insane. It'd be so cool. But as long as I get to keep hearing Noel Gallagher eviscerate Matty Healy, I'm fine with Oasis not being together. That in my life is more important to me.
Yeah, if it means Maddie Healy's taking L's, then Oasis doesn't have to get back together. I'm fine with it. Maddie Healy's such a fucking loser, dude. I can't
and
get over
just
it.
and just I mean the I guess the perfect match for Taylor Swift.
I guess
Love
so.
love truly does find a way.
Taylor, you seem like a lovely girl, but your taste in men is questioned. Dump him, girl. He's a bad guy.
She's probably just trying to get an album out of it,
Yeah, well,
honestly.
here we go.
Yeah, just a business decision, really. Well, what do you say we get into the new album released just May 5th of this year, the Lemon Twigs Everything Harmony. Now, this was one that you suggested. So, had you previously been like a Lemon Twigs fan? Were you just interested because you'd seen it come up?
I would say Lemon Twigs enthusiast.
Okay.
I have heard a bunch of their stuff. I mean, I've heard all the stuff. A lot of it stuck with me more than some of the others. They have more like glam rock forward tunes that I remember like really pricked up my ears because at the
Hmm.
time I was super into T-Rex and Mark Bolan and
Yeah.
the glam rock Bowie days and stuff like that. I was having a little glam rock renaissance.
Hmm.
And so the Lemon Twigs came my way and I was like, "Damn, modern glam. Okay, I'm into this." And some things were more memorable than others. Their album Go to School is a musical about a chimpanzee who is raised as a boy and sent to school.
Hmm.
And it's great. It's fun and whimsical and the music rocks. But I was kind of curious what they would do with this one if they were going to like kind of stick in the pocket.
Hmm.
And it was just like, so perfect. I guess I'm spoiling that like I loved it. It was so perfect and magical. I expected it to be, like, interesting. I didn't expect it to be as good as it is.
Well, I think we're gonna have a pretty interesting discussion on this
Oh
because I
my
did not,
god.
I did not really enjoy this one at all.
Oh,
There's definitely,
no.
certainly, there were a couple of bright spots on there for me. Like there wasn't a total across the board, like didn't enjoy it. But I had never listened to any of the Lemon Twigs before, so it sounds like maybe there's some other stuff I'd probably like a little more. Because I think the songs that I did enjoy on here tended to have more of that glam rock kind of feel, maybe a little closer to what they used to be. But I will say that the album started out like very strong. When Winter Comes Around, I thought was a fantastic song. I thought it was very clever. And again, I had no, this probably was kind of a shock for you. I don't know if they did this kind of slower, more kind of flaming lips style music in the past, but this was very much like that for me. It just kind of kept building and adding more layers and harmonies and things like that. And the first song I thought was very good, like a very good way to start the album. And it got me very excited for the rest of the album. I was like, if it's all like this, I'm going to love it. And it just unfortunately didn't really kind of meet that same bar at a lot of places as we kind of went through the album.
Okay, so which tunes did you like? So you
So I
obviously named the
liked
first one.
So when Winter Comes Around, Ghost Run Free was great,
Mm,
and then Everything Harmony
mm.
I thought was very good as well. So and I don't know if that's going to be like what Lemon Twigs fans say are their favorite ones on the album, but just as somebody listening to them for the first time that I know of anyway, um, those were the ones that stood out to me as like, so thankfully, when I hit Ghost Run Free, kind of a good end of the album, really. From that point to the end of the album, I thought was pretty decent. But those were the three real standout songs for me.
Okay. And I will concede that there are points in the album that sag a little bit. Songs that you're like, "Ah, it wasn't that," but
Mhm.
that's been my entire experience with the Lemon Twigs. It's not like every song they make is a masterpiece. They're like conceptually really fun. They're musically rock solid, as Reno would say, rock solid. And the stuff that like really hits, really hits. So these moments where it like didn't quite have the juice, I can forgive because there was like two or three of them.
Mhm.
Um, but the rest of the stuff was just like it had me by the onions. Like Corner of My Eye,
Mhm.
that song is so absolutely, it's like 60s, like the association. You can kind of hear like 60s influence in it.
Mhm.
It just has this kind of like slow, like, I saw you twice before, and I really want to see you more. It's like, uh, perfect. So smooth. And I just fell in love with the stuff like that. And any time of day, any time of day, like smooth, 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 smooth. Like they were hitting me with the stuff that I love. And it wasn't like tongue-in-cheek parody. They're all in on this sound, and that's what sells it. Because if they were like, isn't glam rock silly and funny? Wasn't music in the 60s wacky when Brian Wilson was whacked out on acid playing with a didgeridoo? They're not doing that kind of shit. Um, so yeah, I much like Go to School appreciated it on a conceptual level enough that the stuff that like didn't really hit with me was forgivable.
And I think part of what kind of bumped me out of liking a lot of the songs was I think the singer's voice just doesn't like sit right with me in a lot of spots. I don't know
Oh
what it
no.
is, and I feel like it's not, they're a good singer, you know what I mean? So I'm not, it's, I feel like it's not a fair criticism. It just didn't hit right for me. So it's like there's a lot of those spots where it should have, those parts where it's really smooth. It's like I love soul music. I love that kind of old funky music. Like I love Silk Sonic, that was like that kind of throwback style. But it just, I don't know, it's something about the register maybe of the singer's voice just didn't hit my ears the right way. The music was fantastic, like all the way through. When they went from like kind of slower ballad type songs to more of that kind of like 60s sort of rock and roll, like they moved through that stuff very well musically. I think what a lot of it lost me in was the singer's voice. And I think that's, I don't know how fair that is, but that's just the way it
Wow.
worked out for me.
Wow, that's so interesting that the singer's voice was enough to do that. Because to me, that's one of the it's a perfect voice for one of the main attractions of Lemon
Hmm.
Twigs, which is those close harmonies. They are so good. They have that theatrical background. One of them was on Broadway at one point
Hmm.
as Gavroche in Les Mis. But they've got this like eclectic musical background rooted in musical theater. So everything they do is like big but not stagey. It's epic, but it's not like taking itself that seriously,
Hmm.
but it's not being a jokey joke with the style. It's no Frank Zappa. And we got him in. So I just appreciate like the passion, but the restraint that goes
Hmm.
into it. And in terms of the voice, I think it's used perfectly. It's perfect for this kind of music. It's perfect for those musical theater nerd close harmonies.
And that's, so the harmonies were good. I mean, that part for sure. Like, so that's the thing, is I like the music. I like the harmonies. I think it was just, there was some spots where it's like as soon as I'm about to like really get into it, the singer's voice just hits the wrong way. But I feel like it just doesn't fit maybe with the type of music. Like for me, like that, I'm thinking when I hear a voice like that, I'm thinking of like the kind of like 90s, like the 10 Things I Hate About You soundtrack. I'm thinking of a voice like that goes great in that music, but maybe not necessarily. I think I want something warmer when it's that kind of throwback sound in that kind. When you have ballads, I think I want something that's a little bit warmer. It sounds very similar to like the singer of Wheatus. It's like that kind of style to me, and it's like it's good in doses, but over a whole album, I think just didn't really sit the way it should have with me.
Her name is Noelle. Oh shit. That have you ever seen that's a quick sidebar. Have you ever seen that interview where he's talking about like, yeah, I was sitting there racking my brain trying to write a song and laying on my bed with my guitar and I just, randomly was like, her name is Noelle. Oh shit.
No, that was the singer from Wheatus.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to find it because I'm sure he was so proud of himself for that.
To be fair, I love that song.
It's fantastic, but that's the kind of like song that voice fits better in for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But the thing is, we know that I like all the fucked up voices. I always
Mhm,
reference Tom Waits and I love Elvis Costello and Donald
mhm,
Fagen doesn't have a good voice, but it's perfect for Steely Dan. Like David Bowie has an incredibly remarkable voice. So Meatloaf, I'm drawn to like voices that are a personality. My
mhm,
problem comes from like, and the indie rock world is especially guilty of this, where everybody, all the male singers especially, sound the exact fucking same. And I
mhm,
like Kings of Leon, but Kings of Leon and Gang of Youths and all these other groups that just have this generic indie voice and
mhm.
that's what drives me nuts. So I am willing to say that if you think that the voice you wanted something warmer, that's fair. But I would like to trade it for something as unique. You know what I mean? And I don't have
Sure.
like
Yeah.
someone off the top of my head who's a good fit. I'm trying to think of someone that kind of has that like warm gravitas you're talking about.
Hosier.
Hosier could probably nail it. That's a good call.
Mhm. Like, it's just that kind
Yeah.
of, because and the reason I thought of that so quickly is because Hosier has done some like kind of that throwback style music. So I know it's something he could do. But it's really other than that, and obviously it's a big that the singer's voice being the most prominent thing you're going to hear over the whole thing. Like other than that, I thought it was very good. The musically, everything like that about it was very appealing. And I really did like that first song when they kicked into Ghost Run Free. And it's that, that's more of that kind of, fits with a song like Always would do, where it's that kind of like soaring indie rock, like high pitched voice over the top of it. But when you have that throwback sound, it's like just I've never heard songs with that throwback sound have a voice like that, and it just didn't come together.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I love when we disagree. It's so much. These are
Mhm.
when we really shine is when we're going to court. Going to court. I think for me, just the way that some of the songs sounded, like I think it like required that kind of like any
Mhm.
time of day, baby, that like kind of Bee Gees affectation without like, boo, right on the nose, pretty obviously
Yeah.
Bee Gees. But it had that same kind of like the Gibbs little
Mhm.
squealy Bee Gees sound. Um, and there's one thing about ghosts that I couldn't get out of my head the entire time. I just kept hearing, there
Yes.
she goes again. It was like there were moments where it was way too similar, and I was like, huh. It's a great song, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but it was uncanny.
And it's funny that you brought up a song that they played that sounds like, another one is I kind of got that feeling the whole time. And I'm fine with that. Like, when a band is influenced by a lot of different things and they're throwing out a lot of different stuff, like I'm totally cool with that. But I absolutely heard like a lot of Flaming Lips in there. I certainly heard There She Goes in that song. But it's just I think because the rest of the music sounded so familiar and the voice didn't. And I'm sitting here with a Coheed and Cambria shirt on saying that the singer's voice is what took me out of it. Um, so a full self-awareness here, folks. Don't worry. But
For you.
yeah, but it's just like I think that was the only thing, because when you look at a song like Ghost Run Free or I think Everything Harmony is the last one, right? That's their no. New to Me is the last one. Wasn't really crazy about that. I felt like Everything Harmony should have been the closing song, because it going from Ghost Run Free into that one, I felt like it was a great 1-2 punch. And after kind of getting through part of the album that was like not the most fun for me to listen to, getting into those two towards the end was something that really I felt like kind of like the carrot on a stick, kind of gave you a reason to keep going and maybe give it a chance enough to change your opinion on what it's been so far. And so they definitely did well enough where I was going to go into this probably ready to just tear this thing apart if those songs weren't on it. I think they were good enough, even though just those three songs, I think they were good enough that it lifted it from just like an absolute just debacle for me.
Wow, this
Yeah.
conversation has really revealed to me the depths of like how much you did not like this album, which I think is so cool and so interesting. Because we're usually pretty like in sync, but God, these
Mhm.
moments I savor it. These are the moments I thank God that I'm alive.
And I think we do tend to agree a lot, because I think I don't want to like toot our own horns too much, but we can be pretty objective on this. But I think the whole point of this thing is that, our opinions are going to matter at the end of the day. If we can give it all the technical praise in the world, but if it didn't like sound that good to you overall, you don't have to say it's a great album. You don't have to say you liked it, but it's also, I think, obviously they've been doing it for a long time, so there's probably plenty of people that love this album. I mean, you're sitting here and you love it. I didn't even know
I'm
you
one
were
of
a
them.
Lemon Twigs enthusiast. I had no idea that about you. I probably would have listened to him before this. And I think I will listen to earlier Lemon Twigs, because maybe if it's more like that glam rock, like I feel like this voice fits a lot better with that.
Um, I think if you listen to Go to School, you'll be surprised. It takes the Lemon Twigs in a very different direction from this. That's why this surprised me so much. Because that was like not my only frame of reference. I'd heard obviously like the glam rock stuff, but Go to School is like a musical. It doesn't have
Mhm.
that cheesy like Papa, when are we gonna see Mama again? I don't know, son. Let's sing about it. Like it's not a bunch of bullshit. It it's very interesting. So even though I don't think you will like it, it might be worth your time to listen to it so you can tell me why.
Okay. I think I will. I mean, I'm definitely interested, because I do like the other bands that you mentioned. And if the stuff that they'd done previous to this, they had some things that was more in that vein, I'm probably going to find more things that I like about that. But I think overall for this album, I'm going to say skip it.
Dagger. Absolute dagger. Obviously mine is a buy it, spin it, vinyl it, whatever. I love this shit. It's right up my alley. It's inventive, it's musically tight. I happen to love the voice. I thought the lyrical content was great. It's like a lot of nostalgia in the sound, a lot of nostalgia in the subject matter. Just like again, there were little sags. You talk about the carrot on a stick at the end. I was eating carrots the whole time. I had like handfuls of baby carrots and I was just munching. And then there were times where I like tripped and dropped my carrots, but I picked them up, I dusted them off, and I started stuffing them in my little hamster cheeks again. It was a delightful experience. So don't just stream it, buy it.
I think this is the first time that we've had the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Since the new rating system, yeah.
Yeah. Well, history getting made once again here on Out on
And
That Line.
historic day.
Look at us. Who'd have thought?
Wow. Life happens quick, huh?
Oh, well, we're going to have another reaction video coming out for you. So it'll already be out by the time you hear or watch this podcast. Alex, where are they going to find that reaction video?
Found deep in the recesses of the old internet, they have tell a legend of a YouTube channel that contains riches and lore and examples of strong male friendships and new music to which you can expose yourself. I don't mean it like that. You know what I'm talking about, gutter brain. They say it's a legendary place where you can always see the sun and the water runs crystal clear and the rivers of ranch dressing run right up to your knees. That's a Burger King reference. And yes, I heard tell there's a Burger King there. But you will have to confirm that for yourself when you come on down to the creek and take a long, cool drink of Out on That Line premium content, and you find it one place. And what is that place? It is youtube.com/C/Out on That Line. Oh no, I blew it up. Out on That Line. Oh, oh my God. I'm the Boston Celtics in game 7. Oh, oh no. Oh, it hurts. Oh, bad. You can find more embarrassing moments like this in one place. youtube.com/C/Out on That Line.
I'm telling you, that could not have gone better. I'm so happy that just happened.
Just like I drew it up.
Until next time.